The Epstein Files feel like old news at this point, but Muslims on Twitter still act like it just dropped last night.
If you were silent about Epstein, deflecting and posting about anything else, your silence is acceptance. You are Epstein, motherfucker.
Apparently, if you don't post about Epstein at least twice in 3 hours, you personally trafficked minors on an island. By that logic, I could just as easily say, if you are silent about Mohammed's marriage to 9-year-old Aisha, deflecting and posting about anything else, your silence is acceptance. You are Mohammed, pedophile. I mean, it's the same sentence structure, same level of intellectual dishonesty, but here's the difference, Beck. Epstein is universally condemned, but Mohammed is praised, defended, and called the perfect moral example.
If you have not made one post about Epstein's dark web of chaos, you too.
What is this? The anti-Semitic version of the BLM black square? Post the Epstein square or you are complicit. And he has posted this like twice. So you know what? Let's talk about the Epstein's
dark web of chaos
by reacting to all the accurate things Muslims on X have to say about it.
Allah is the best of planners. They blamed Islam. They insulted Muslims. Then the Epstein Files dropped and exposed who the real pedophiles were. They planned, but Allah planned. And Allah is the best of planners.
First of all, no. Quran 8 verse 30 doesn't say best of planners. The Arabic is best translated into English as they deceived, but Allah deceived. And Allah is the best of deceivers. Second, Muhammad was a worse pedophile than Epstein. Epstein's victims were teenagers, but Muhammad married a 6-year-old and had sex with her at 9. Then he began a religion where prepubescent girls have divorce waiting periods, meaning he created a religious legal system where a child can be married multiple times before puberty. Epstein's victims will be grandmas compared to the ones Muhammad told Jabir to consider fondling.
That is why he is the best rapist and the best at planning rape.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better.
I don't see any Muslims in the Epstein Files. Just saying.
I don't think Epstein was motivated by any religion. He was motivated by degeneracy. He didn't justify his crimes with revelation, unlike Muhammad, who claimed an angel told him to marry and have sex with a child. Or maybe I don't want to make it about religion because the Mossad paid me $7,000 just to keep my mouth shut. Who knows? But there are Muslims in the Epstein Files. These are leaders in the Muslim world chilling with Jeffrey Epstein.
The go-to argument for Christians is Muhammad was a pedophile, a dude from the 7th century. Meanwhile, your society produces them in mass, and the most prolific ones.
Here is the problem, Dawood. Epstein is a scandal in the West because the West condemns it. But in the Muslim world, child marriage is legal. Just look at the numbers. Sudan, 34%. Afghanistan, 29%. Chad, 61%. Mali, 54%. Yemen, 30%. Nigeria, 30%. And Niger, a staggering 76%. All of this is happening because of
a dude from the 7th century.
This Muslim man in Somalia was literally crying when it was falsely rumored that Somalia has enacted a law that puts an age limit on marriage. Why was he crying? Because of
a dude from the 7th century.
In Yemen, an 8-year-old bride died on her wedding night after her husband had sex with her. Why? Because of
a dude from the 7th century.
After watching 1% of Epstein's file, I say it loud and clear. Yes, Islamic values are incompatible with the West.
And David Wood replies,
indeed, Muhammad liked girls way younger than the ones Epstein targeted.
And he brought the receipt from Sahih al-Bukhari 51:33. Aisha was married at 6, 9 at consummation, and Quran 65 verse 4 legalizes prepubescent divorce. This is everything you need to know about Islam and child marriage, captured in one hadith.
If Jeffrey Epstein had been Muslim, every right-wing commentator and their dog would be screaming about Islam right now. But he was Jewish, so complete silence.
Epstein Files proved one thing. Religion is only blamed when it is Islam.
Interesting.
The same people who say ISIS isn't Islamic now desperately want Epstein to be Jewish. And by the way, there are countless posts on X making this whole Epstein saga about Jews. But
it's not enough.
Meanwhile, when Muslim terrorists kill people while shouting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, the media uses it to remind us about the rise in Islamophobia. I mean, I haven't seen any headline about the rise in antisemitism since the Epstein Files dropped. But
It's not enough.
A Muslim goes on a shooting spree, says the Quran and Hadiths tell him to do so, and shouts Allahu Akbar while doing it. We check the Islamic sources and surprise, he's quoting them accurately and noticing that it's labeled
Islamophobia.
But Epstein, the only thing Jewish about him was his last name, yet Muslims still want to make this about
Islamophobia.
This is an interesting verse in the Bible. I wonder if Jewish Epstein knew about it.
Oh, Mohammed Hijab, how is bankruptcy treating you? Clearly, it has affected your ability to read and comprehend, a disability that your namesake also suffered from. But let me help you. The verse you posted out of context says, if a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives.
If Jewish Epstein
Knew about this verse, he would have married his victims, but he didn't. But please, by all means, don't stop making yourself look more stupid and dishonest than you already look.
Did Jeffrey Epstein write this Bible verse?
Oh, Junior wouldn't let Mohammed Hijab outdo him in dishonest stupidity. He remains the king of this genre of dawah. His tweet refers to 2 Kings 4 verse 34, where the prophet Elisha lies on a child until the child comes back to life. This is Elisha bringing a dead child back to life. No sex, no abuse, just Junior displaying raw stupidity or dishonesty. And based on his debates,
girls older than 16 years old are not allowed to play with dolls. She played with dolls. She was older than 16.
I'm betting on stupidity. But since Muslims want to involve religion, let's give them what they want by reading some emails on the Epstein Files.
Jeffrey asks that you do the inside of the 5 palms, i.e. the temple on the island, like a Turkish mosque.
Here is another email from Epstein himself.
It should look old. It will be for the inside walls like a mosque.
But wait! There's more!
As per the instruction of Aziza, we will ship some pieces of the Kaaba for the mosque.
Which mosque? The temple on Pedophile Island. They are shipping literal pieces of the Kaaba to Epstein.
By the way, the black pace was touched by 10 million Muslims of different denominations, Sunni, Shia, and others. They walk around the Kaaba 7 rounds, then everyone tries as much as they can to touch it, and they kept their prayers, wishes, tears, and hopes on this piece, hoping after that all their prayers to be accepted.
This is Arab businesswoman Aziza talking about the kiswa, the cloth that covers the black cube in Mecca, which she just shipped to Epstein. And this is Epstein and his Arab friends examining that cloth.
May Allah forgive all our sins.
That's from Epstein to a guy named Abdurrahman.
Praise Allah, there are still people like you.
And that's from Epstein to someone probably named Suleiman. I'm not saying Epstein was a Muslim, but if Jesus was a Muslim because of that one time he prayed bowing down, then what do you say about a man who literally said,
May Allah forgive all our sins. Praise Allah, there are still people like you.
And built his infamous temple in the shape of a Turkish mosque?
He's out of line, but he's right.